Okay,
And
guys,
there's
it
no.
is Kuze today alongside Octopus Rum, who's goofing off right now, and we are very, very pleased to bring you CESN's Player of the Week tournament. Today we are bringing you a matchup between SoloTurtle and Hyper. We'd like to thank, first of all, all of you guys who signed up. Not many of you actually bothered to check in, though, which is interesting. It is one game for $10 this week. Um,
3 games, fool.
Whatever, but one match. You get what I'm saying. And so we're going to have a Zerg versus Protoss, SoloTurtle playing the Protoss, Hyper playing the Zerg. We're going to be on MLG Test Bug today. And Octopus, you actually picked this map, so why don't you talk to us a little bit about why you picked it?
Well, today we're gonna start off on IC Cup Test Bug, and the remainder 2 maps will be chosen by the loser out of the MLG map pool. Which for our maps for us today will be Zelnaga Caverns, Metalopolis, Shakura's Plateau, Shattered Temple, Tal'Darim Altar, and Typhon Peaks. We went with Test Bug first off, just because I like it, because it's a 3-player map, and it's got a lot of really nice symmetry. It's got those nice Salnagas outside the natural with the destructible rocks, and it's got some really nice expansion for some macro play, and yet also some really good terrain in the middle of the map for good early pushes and good micro battles. So I'm excited to see what we have.
Yeah, and in terms of the players, worth mentioning, SoloTurtle is ranked a little bit higher. Both of these players are master ranked players. We did have a couple of Grandmasters show up, but for whatever reason, I guess they just didn't feel like coming by for a shot at 10 quick, easy bucks, which is confusing for us, but, you know, whatever you guys want to do. So here we go. We got Hyper down here at the 7 o'clock position playing Zerg, and in the 3 o'clock position or so is SoloTurtle playing Protoss. Um, so Bird Kicker, who's one of our signups, is now ready, which is unfortunate for him. So can't do too much for you there.
Yep, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, remember, guys, this is going to be a weekly thing, and it will be $10. Hopefully, next week we'll have a bracket set up for you guys. It'll probably be single elimination, except for the final round. But you're more than welcome to come and try your hand and try and win $10. So definitely sign up.
It
I'm
is
actually kind of
very quick
excited.
money for something you would be doing anyway, honestly. So yeah, I don't think there's any other tournaments out here that have as quick of a prize. I mean, there are bigger prize pools, but this is 2 out of 3 for $10 is pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically the shit. And I'm pretty excited today that we have a Protoss versus Zerg and none of this Terran shenanigans. So far, no player doing any sort of cheese. We got SoloTurtle throwing down a pylon down here. It's his fucking ramp, and
And it looks like I
looks
thought
like he'll
Hyper
be
was gonna
scouting
go
poorly.
into an early expo because he's got 12 harvesters now and hadn't built anything, but he went right into an extractor instead. So just late from him. Um,
No, I mean that's pretty standard timing. It looks like he's gonna be going for a. Actually, no, I take that back. It looks like he is gonna be laying down the early expo at. No, no, that's a
no, he's
scouting
gonna get a
probe.
spawning
So
pool
it's gonna be
instead.
a
So.
spawning pool. So extractor and a spawning pool, pretty standard. That says to me definitely early speed links from him. We see the gateway coming down from SoloTurtle and the assimilator. So nothing really too out of the ordinary here. Although
Oh, oh.
the Zerg player isn't early expanding, which is kind of out of the ordinary in a 1v1.
Kind of, and just to really quickly go back to your Terran comment, because I think it's something that's interesting and something worth mentioning. So Octopus and I play twos, so it's a little bit different. For those of you who do play twos, the gameplay is a little bit different. It's all about getting one player out essentially as quickly as you can. And Terran in twos is just terrible to play against. So we have been doing a little bit of raging recently. So if you are a Terran player, it is nothing personal, but we kind of aren't your biggest fan right now.
It looks like Hyper taking his drones off gas as once he gets into that 100 gas for that speed, getting that queen. SoloTurtle's going to be going for a cybernetic score here, so no 2-gate pressure as he does throw down that second assimilator. So we'll be interested to see whether he goes for sort of a early sort of 4-gate push or if he's going for a 3-gate expo kind of build.
Yeah, and you see, by the way, SoloTurtle going with that double gas. So we'll see what that brings to the game for him. See Hyper doing a good job with his Overlord placement. It's always important to have an Overlord sort of off to look back in the back of Protoss base for tech, that kind of stuff around the mineral lines. So we'll see if he moves that in.
Yeah,
See
but it looks like
good
SoloTurtle
expansion,
is
yeah.
going to be yep. It looks like Hyper's going to be throwing down the expo. Not too early, not too late. It looks like he's going to try and put on some pressure with some early lings, but this Zealot is going to hold that off as he starts to chrono boost out his warp gate tech.
Yep.
And
He's also got a
so
sentry coming, and we see Hyper not even bothering to try and engage that zealot. It's in a hold position at that choke right now, and then the sentry's coming up now and it's going to be able to beat those Zerglings back. So,
there's a nice place there from SoloTurtle, and as he places down 2 more gateways, so it looks like he's going to be going for some sort of early pressure.
yeah.
Whether it's 4-gate or not, we have yet to see, as this hatchery is just coming up. And it looks like Hyper here is actually getting a second queen and beginning to once again mine gas. So I'll be interested to see what kind of build he's going for. No real signs yet. This SoloTurtle is getting out another sentry
See,
and another
and it's
pylon.
worth mentioning, SoloTurtle didn't really kill that drone too quickly. He did make a nice choke, but that drone got in there, and it's been able to see essentially everything that's been going on over here. So he knows that there's 2 more gateways coming up, and he also knows that if he puts a little bit of pressure on SoloTurtle at this point, he's going to have a good amount of time to saturate his natural and get himself going production-wise, which he should be doing momentarily.
Yep, and it looks like SoloTurtle is going to throw it on his Expo, as Hyper's just got his up and running. He does have his second queen now, and
He's got a Zergling over there, though. It just got toasted. And you see the supply depot here for the MLG maps is getting destroyed by SoloTurtle as well. Maybe we're trying to put a pylon in there so we can make a wall of structures out there by his natural. It's something we see, and sure enough, there goes the pylon. And Hyper, meanwhile, is saturating his natural now with some drones. He's also keeping that Xel'Naga in the middle, which is very important on this map, especially where these 2 players are positioned so that you can see what's coming through them. Everything's going to go through the middle of the map, essentially, unless there's some sort of air drop kind of deal. And we see Hyper also, by the way, sacking an Overlord to get more scouting, and those sentries going to take care of it. But he's done a very good job scouting so far, Octopus.
Yeah, it looks like that's always really good. That's good timing to have that Overlord try and come into the Protoss, see if he's doing anything tricky. But it looks like SoloTurtle just going for a standard 3-gate Expo build, and he's going to get that Forge, and he's getting a lot of sentries early, which is going to come in really handy for that massive amount
and
of
that's what that double gas was for, obviously.
And here comes the scout from SoloTurtle. It's going to see this Expo, although he was probably expecting it anyway, and it's going to be taken out.
You see a couple spine crawlers as well from Hyper just to defend that. He knows that there's a fairly big force now from SoloTurtle at that natural, and in terms of take a look at the unit tab, he doesn't have too much to counter against it right now. He's got 3 queens and 2 Zerglings, and those Zerglings are just holding the Xel'Naga. He's really concentrating on tech and macro play right now as opposed to armies. You see a Spire as well coming up from him now, so maybe going into mutas.
Yeah, looks like he's going for some sort of mutaling play. He's got some pretty nice creep spread as well. And it looks like SoloTurtle going to be picking up both the gases at his Expo now and getting a Twilight Council. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, and a Robo Bay. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some Blink Stalker play or maybe some charge lots. He is chrono boosting out weapons level 1. So he may be going for a weapons level 1 push here. But I'll be interested to see what he does. He's probably waiting for that observer as well to go in and scout the
and that robotics facility is coming out a little bit late, actually. We are a decent point in this game now. We've been here for a while, and we got those 3 gates up very early and expoed and didn't get that robo facility until just now. Just interesting. And he's going for blink research as well for his 1 stalker, so essentially probably going to see more stalkers. Would like also to see some more warp gates from him now that he's got that expansion up, maybe move into 5 gate. But nothing like that so far.
Yeah, it looks like he's warping in a cannon somewhere. I don't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not at the natural. It looks like he's just going to try and provide a little bit of protection there at that natural.
And I like this 3rd queen by Hyper. I like this 3rd queen for a few reasons. Mostly because it allows him to get a ton of creep spread without sacrificing larva energy. And that's something that's really important that a lot of Zerg players don't do these days. But he does have quite a significant number of spine crawlers now. 7 spine crawlers protecting his natural.
And you see
him getting 8 mutalisks and flyer weapons level 1. But we are seeing blink stalkers from SoloTurtle, although he isn't actually making any stalkers at this point.
Yeah, it was an interesting decision to go right for that blink research when he's heavily into sentries. You'd think he'd maybe try and get more stalkers before going for the for that, and maybe getting an observer out or something in the meantime. And you see he's actually is building some more gateways now, so he's up to 6 gates, and these mutas are coming in behind. He sees them with his stalker, but they're going to get to his mineral line. And
here come the mutas, and they're just tearing through his workers. 5, 6 lost. The stalkers are definitely not enough at this point to be able to counter them, and he is going to be forced to pull away now. But SoloTurtle definitely needing a couple more stalkers. At least he already has that blink research. But 6 more mutalisks coming out for him at this point, and he killed 7 workers in that attack. Not shabby at
And you
all.
see
This-
Hyper at his natural has so many spine crawlers now, 7 spine crawlers there to protect. So it looks like he's doing sort of the equivalent of a wall in almost as a Zerg player and allowing himself some time to build more mutas and harass that. So he's going to be probably very heavy on the air if I had to make a guess right now. So Blink Stalkers by SoloTurtle, at the time when he did it, seemed kind of stupid to us. It actually is going to turn out to be a pretty good counter to these mutas.
Yep, absolutely, and it looks like these mutas are going to be thwarted once again, as now SoloTurtle does have a significant number of stalkers, and it looks like Hyper is going to get his melee and his ground upgrades, and
He's
he's just
also
finished
got a
fly level
third
1.
as well. If you take a look at the left side of the map, he's going ahead and going to do that. He's going to, by doing that, he's going to have a good control over the middle of the map now. So, and that sort of choke that I was mentioning before, that wall of spine crawlers, wouldn't be too surprised if we see him pick them up and move them out a little bit into the middle and just try and control that middle. We meanwhile see these mutas coming around. It looks to try and hit this natural.
But at the same time, we see SoloTurtle is going to be pushing in across this creep. I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to do against all these spine crawlers, but meanwhile, these mutalists are coming into the natural expansions mineral line and just tearing through it, tearing it to pieces. 18 to 20 worker kills. That one fucking
and SoloTurtle hasn't really done too much now, just now engaging.
SoloTurtle now trying to press through the front, but 7 spine crawlers is going to force that away pretty quickly. And I also like how Hyper has chosen to not destroy these destructible rocks in his Zelnaga, as he knows with this good creep spread, he'll have that vision, but his opponent won't, and I like that decision.
Yeah, meanwhile we see SoloTurtle using his obs to get that creep spread down a little bit, as much as he can, because obviously this is a problem for him. He wants to be fighting in the middle, and he wants to be able to sort of control it, but with that creep there, if Hyper does decide to move into any sort of like roaches or anything...
a big attack right now.
Yeah, here we go.
Stalkers are going to try and push in through these spine crawlers. Nice Guardian Shield, but here
comes some Zerglings.
And the Qs on the side are going to be able to
nice force fields. Nice force fields on that right side, but he's running out of energy here. And he is in trouble. Those mutas are providing very good air support for these Zerglings.
Nice force fields, but these mutas are going to be able to clean up all those stalkers pretty easily, and that blink micro is not going to be enough. And there's the GG from SoloTurtle.
So SoloTurtle losing that first round to Hyper. Hyper doing a good job there at pretty much map control, I would have to say. SoloTurtle didn't really push that well. And actually, if we took a second to look at the early building that was going on, SoloTurtle's timings were a little bit off. He didn't get a gateway up until I think it was about 14 or 16, and you normally want to get one out around 12, so that was sort of interesting to me.
I think honestly the only real problem I saw with Solo there was he didn't do quite a good enough job just getting rid of those mutas. I think he got his blink research at a really nice time, but he spent too much money on those sentries when he really needs to be getting a lot more stalkers.
And Solo has picked Tal'Darim, so that is where we are going for this second round. And what do you think he should do differently this time around, Octopus?
You know, I liked his blink timing, and I liked his upgrade timing. In general, he had weapons level 2 up pretty fast. I think what a lot of his problem was that he wasn't dealing with those mutalisks in his base. Maybe he should have just gotten some photon cannons or just been more aware of that. And I don't know, his pushes wasn't as good. He didn't bait the mutalisks out of the spine crawlers. He just sort of let them surround him. And he did have a couple nice force fields, but maybe